Welcome into the Shoujo-Verse. I'm your host today, Sho-chan, and with me I have Miso and Nikki, and we're giving our final thoughts on Horimiya now that the series has wrapped up. But first of all, we didn't really react to episode 12, so we're just going to briefly touch upon that. So let's just get started right there. So, episode 12, what were your guys' main thoughts on this episode?
It was okay. I don't really remember what happened.
Well, at first it kind of solidified Toru's view on Yuki because that's when he was like talking to Sengoku and I think Hiro was there too.
Yura, yeah.
Yeah, and then they were like, oh, they had like the whole thing where they're like, oh, we thought you were dating, and then he like admits that he likes her, and then they're all like, we're more than friends, but we're not dating yet.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
kind of like establishing their relationship limbo.
Yeah, but I think it was also like, cause that was the first time we really hear that Toru liked her, right?
Yeah, that is our first time that we heard that.
So that's kind of like a confirmation there.
Yeah,
At least
and
for
then the
me.
rest of the episode was like Christmas and like with all the couples.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like I think there was that scene where like obviously Miyamura couldn't really stay and like spend Christmas with Hori, but like Hori's family was more upset about that than Hori
I
herself.
think that was cute.
Yeah, I love that part.
Yeah, her family really likes him. It's pretty cute.
And then there's like the random speed up part where they're like the grades, or like Hori's looking at her grades, and then they're like, "Oh, next time
Yeah,
your grades show up, you're graduating." And that's when I was like, "Oh, they really speed running, huh?"
yeah, I was like, oh crap, we're really gonna go there. We're just gonna skip
Yeah,
ahead that far into the next episode, I assume. And then
yeah.
that's exactly what
Episode
happened in the
13.
next
I'm just gonna
episode.
jump right into it. We just sped run to the last chapter. That was
Yep.
literally the last chapter.
Wait, so did they start off as first years or second years? They started off as
I have
second
no
years, right?
idea. I feel it's the
I don't remember. I know that they showed them like going up a grade, but I think they went up to the third year,
yeah,
right?
but I don't know what grade they were at the start. Like the timeline's really unclear.
I think they're in their second year. Yeah, because Remy's a year younger than them, and then she was still around.
Oh
And then
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
second
yeah.
year, and they really skipped
Yeah.
like ahead.
Yeah.
And then there was also the
Yep.
Miyamura and his like alternate universe if like he did meet all these people.
Yeah, that was in episode
Yeah.
13 though. Do we want to just go? I mean, there's the other thing that did happen in episode 12 where it was like, I felt it speed run, especially with that last scene where like Hori's like, no, Miyamura said let's
Oh
get
yeah.
married or something. And I'm just like, okay, we're really going there.
I don't know any
Okay.
12th grader that's like, we're gonna get married, like while dating.
Dude, we're looking at this from an older perspective. I feel like it was cute and
I mean,
intent,
okay,
man.
it's like shoujo-esque, so I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
Well, also like it didn't. I feel like it doesn't seem like it because of how short the anime was and how much it skipped. But they've been dating for at least a year,
Yeah.
right?
In high school, dating a year, that's forever, man. We're getting married.
You know, that is a good point that you brought up, Nikki. Completely forgot that, yeah, it's actually a bit longer, you know?
Yeah, it seems like they were probably. It seems like from however long you're watching, this show, maybe it's been like a few months, but it's really been like a year, right?
It's been like
At
a year,
least.
Yeah.
almost two since like second year, and then they're almost graduating again.
Well, yeah, something. I don't know if it was almost 2, but it's been at least a year.
Wow.
Any other thoughts about episode 12 before we jump right into 13 again?
Let's just jump right into 13. Is that okay, Nikki?
Yeah, I don't think there was much.
Yeah.
We're just speed running through
Is
the
there even much?
episodes.
Yeah. Well, we're speedrunning just as much as Horimiya did. So,
Yeah,
hey.
we're definitely speed running it just to get our final thoughts into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god. Episode 13, I guess, felt like nothing as well.
There was the whole Miyamura alternate timeline thing, which I think is a very
Okay,
nice
yeah, that's
touch.
true.
If Miyamura
Yeah.
was actually developed properly, which he wasn't, so I didn't really feel anything for him. I'm like, cool story, kid.
Cool story, kid.
Like it's sad, but because of the like really speedy development, you didn't really like feel anything. It's kind of like okay.
You
Yeah.
know, go ahead, Nikki. Sorry.
I was just gonna be like, I don't want to sound like a total dick about it, but like, I don't know. I was just so over this like Miyamura sob story going on.
Oh my god.
So
Like,
bad.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I get that you were gloomy and I guess bullied in middle school, and I don't want to be like, I don't want to downplay bullying or the trauma that you
Yeah.
can get from it. But honestly, at this point, I was like, okay, we get it. You were a sad emo boy, like who happened to find friends. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just like,
Okay. Yeah, I get what you mean. I like the speed running really ruined the moment. I feel like in the manga it was a lot better done. Like it was
yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if this. It was just so because the anime made it so like poorly developed, and that they didn't really develop Miyamura aside from I don't know, like aside from being they just pushed this like sob story by basically
Yeah.
being like he had a sob or I don't know. They're just like he's just an emo boy and he'll never escape this emo pass.
That's the thing. That's what I find it annoying. Like that's what I had an issue with too. Was like it just felt like they kept overemphasizing Miyamura's past story instead of like also tie like they try to tie it into his present, being like, oh, but he fortunately found friends and oh, he is much happier now. Like they tried that, and I'm just like, but I wasn't convinced that by that at the very like in this last episode when they showed the alternate timeline, then they showed like the normal timeline because then it just felt very like that normal timeline was just like a few seconds whereas that alternate timeline dragged on for like 2 minutes at least.
yeah. I
Yeah.
definitely think the manga was like I mean, I think they were going for like, oh, he's finally gonna accept his past. Like this is what happened and this is the present
Mm.
now. Cause like there's a part where like the past him was like, oh, you finally looked at me. But then at the same time it's like, what do you mean you finally looked at me? This you never even showed up. So I don't understand. But that could be because like they
Mm.
skipped a lot of parts where the past shows up again.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean like okay, the first time it was cute. It was like, "Oh, I have someone who cares for me now." And then like episodes later, you're just like, "I have someone who cares for me now." I'm like, we've been through this.
We've been here.
We
Nikki's like,
know.
come on, we know. Please
We
move on.
know.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
We get
yeah.
it. You have friends. Like
Yeah, okay. I wish they didn't like cut out like that part in the early on episodes and then like
Hmm.
put it into the last episode. I have that or like they did something else would have made more sense. Or the season was longer and then it would have made more sense.
But then here's comes like this was my personal beef with this whole anime, which is like I felt like it focused so much on Miyamura. And I'm just like, wait, I remember him in the manga being important. I remember this past story, and I did feel bad for him there. But for some reason, when I'm watching this, I'm like, how about, do I know anything about Hori besides kind of just like having like, just kind of being rude to Miyamura, or like just being a basic like, does studies hard, is a good older sister, and kind of resembles a housewife in
mhm.
many ways. That's all I know about her. But for some reason, I know a lot about Miyamura, and I'm just like, what? This
Miyamura,
whole anime just focused on
I mean,
Miyamura.
speaking of that, it's like they're graduating, but I have no idea what any of their passions are. What are they gonna do in the
Oh
future?
yeah,
They never touched upon that.
True.
So where is everyone going?
true.
There's no like
Yeah.
typical university like hustle, you know?
Yeah, they didn't do
Oh
that
yeah,
whole like what are you going to do after you
exams.
graduate?
Yeah.
That's like that's a trope too, you know, like that. You have to like
Hmm.
fill out the form.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, filling out the form and then comparing what are you gonna do.
Yeah.
Oh, I said this.
And like talking about what colleges you're going to try to get into and things like that. Like they
Hmm.
didn't do that.
I don't know if I appreciate it or not because like in a way it's like a trope and you kind of don't want to like watch that again. But also I want to know more about these characters. Like where are they
True.
going? What are
Yeah.
their passions? I know
It's
nothing
a
about
trope.
Their
them.
passions.
It's a
Hmm?
trope, but it's very it's kind of more satisfying in terms of just knowing where they go or like in like conclusion. It wraps things up a little nicer because you're not wondering like what are they going to try to do after graduating.
Their passions are each other. Like being friends because that's what they kept emphasizing. It was like, oh, we're gonna be friends, and I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know anything about each of you though.
This
We're gonna go on a
friendship make
road
money.
trip.
Yeah, that's
Because
cool.
Yanagi's getting his driver's license.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, Yanagi, I love him.
There's supposed to be an extra chapter coming out summer. I swear it's the road trip, isn't it?
It's probably the road trip.
Probably. Wow.
And then probably an OVA
Predicting it.
episode, and it's gonna be a road trip.
And I do know that I guess like one thing that did seem to be clear in Miyamura's like past story that they wanted to emphasize at the end was this idea of being yourself. And I'm just like, cool. How about everybody else with that whole theme? Because then I feel like they were trying to do that with Hori too, but like it was barely there. You just had to
Yeah.
infer that, and I'm just like, I don't know.
I feel. Oh, I was gonna say, okay, they definitely cut out a lot of Hori's part because, like, in the manga, she's like super like aggressive and abusive, so that might have been why they cut out a lot of her scenes.
I mean, she's still
And
kind
she's
of
not
showed
as
some
developed.
aggression. I think,
Yeah.
like, kind of going back to, I don't know if you guys remember, like, the very first episode, I remember being like, you know how they, like, the general premise of Horimiya in the beginning is that they're these two characters that at school, like, they have an image of themselves, and at home, it's not the same, right? And, like, they don't, like, okay, I kind of get how they did that with Miyamura a little bit, but then they kind of just, like, threw it all away.
Oh, that's true. It was never brought back.
That's what I thought. Yeah, and I thought that was like the whole premise. Like that's what I'm like. And especially it does come back in the end, sort of, when like Miyamura literally says something about being yourself and the importance of that, and I'm just like, yeah, wait, that was what this was about. Like, wait a second, is that what I sat through this whole time? Without realizing?
I feel like Horimiya started off with a plot, and then it kind of just derailed, and was like, let's do a slice of life, and then
Yeah, basically, that's basically what happened.
It happened in the manga, it happened in the anime too. Bam. They that is one thing that they stayed truthful to, I think.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, and then, like, I think I said in the beginning too, like, I remember, I don't get the duality of Hori's personality. She doesn't have any duality. Or, like, the whole point is that she's supposed to be, like, someone else at home, but I didn't get it. Like, so what, you're good at housework, and you had to take care of your brother. Okay.
How is that duality?
Yeah, I was like, I get Miyamura is kind of, you know, like, oh, he stops wearing glasses, he puts his hair up, he has all these piercings, tattoo, whatever, right? But like, yeah, I don't get what Hori's was. And then we're like, oh, maybe they'll like develop it further. No, they didn't. They did not. They did not develop her. I guess any type of duality or further for her. They kind of threw away the whole two-sided image Miyamura had. Like, once he cut his hair, like, it was over. Like, didn't care anymore.
Yeah, true.
He stopped wearing his glasses for some reason.
Goes back into the trope. Once you like wear contacts, you're hot again. Like glasses, no.
Get a haircut and get contacts. Yeah, but I still don't get why he wore glasses in the first place. Like, he didn't wear them at home.
Oh, you know what? It's kind of weird because there's one scene where he was like in his like punk rocky outfit, and he wasn't wearing glasses either. So it's like, why do you wear glasses to begin with?
That's what I said. I was like, I don't get why you're wearing glasses. Like, I get why your hair is like down because you're hiding your ears, right? He's hiding his ears. But why do you need the glasses too? What does that hide?
I guess it's just the geek persona. I have no idea. That's a good question. I don't know why I guess that just plays into the trope more than it does in actual purposes. Like
There's
what we would normally
no
think.
purpose. Like,
there is
okay,
no purpose.
Like, because then, like, if you're wearing glasses now, why don't you wear glasses at home too? Like, it's not like you can all of a sudden see.
Yep.
What? Do you only wear contacts when you're not in school? Why? Why can't you wear contacts in school too? I don't get it.
He has to wear contacts when he's in his punk outfit. That's how he shows his real self.
Yeah, I was like, what is that? I don't get that, but okay. Sure.
I mean, that's like a really small detail from the main plot line.
It's a small detail, and we're just like, we are hyper-fixating on that too.
No, it's been bothering me the entire show. Like, I still don't...
Nikki, oh my god.
I bring it up like almost every episode. I'm like, why does he wear glasses? I think like whenever I do a reaction, I'm like, so why is
Why?
he why are you in classes? I don't
Why the
get it.
glasses, bro?
Yeah. This was definitely
Yeah.
not the first time I've talked about it.
Wow.
That's so funny. That's like one detail you won't let go.
Because it doesn't make sense.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I never thought about it that way, but now I am, and now I'm like, wow, okay. And also, wait a second, didn't they had him like? I thought it was really cool when they showed some of his cooler scene in the first episode where he jumped over the gate or whatever, the fence. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
nothing as cool as that has ever come up again.
Are you telling
I'm
me?
like, oh,
Are you telling me the peak of Horimiya is Miyamura jumping over a fence?
I mean, I think it was kind of
okay.
hot when he was like slapping her.
Oh my god,
Nikki,
Nikki.
Nikki, what the?
Ooh.
I was like, damn. I wouldn't mind if he yelled at me like that.
Nikki.
Oh my god, you're one of those girls who's like, if for Attack on Titan of Levi kicked you, you'd been like, yes, please.
Yeah.
She's one of those. You know what? I don't kink shame. You go enjoy what you need to enjoy.
Good dude, that's totally cool. Well, I thought it was cute, sort of, with the ending scenes, when the ending credits were rolling, that
You mean
there
the
were a lot of scenes that were
slideshow?
excluded.
The slideshow?
The slideshow! Oh my god, yes, the slideshow.
How come?
Misa, that is what it
How
is.
come this whole season all the animes end in like a slideshow? Like Promise Neverland, I heard was a slideshow, and then
I heard it was
and like I
too.
saw it because I was like I could not believe it. It was a slideshow, and then here we are, Horimiya slideshow ending.
And it was like, okay, but like the difference I would say is like, I haven't watched The Promised Neverland though this season because I heard it was bad and just did not did not touch it then. But for like this actually though, it seemed like the ending credits were like, oh, here were extra scenes that we just never decided to use, or like we never actually decided to animate these stories. So like that was kind of cute, I thought. But at the same time, I'm like, there's like a school festival one, and I'm like, why did you guys do a school festival? That would have been better than what I sat through for some of these
Okay,
episodes.
to be fair, this
That trope
slideshow,
sucks, but
this slideshow is definitely better than Promise Neverland because I watched the Promise Neverland, and basically this is a spoiler. Whoever's watching or not gonna watch, but basically instead of telling the plot and how they concluded, they just went for a slideshow with no explanation. That was it.
yeah, that's what I heard. That's why I'm like, this is a slideshow, but in a different regards, where it's like actually it's okay. That's a slideshow.
It's
Whereas
not as
Promised Neverland was like
yeah,
something else.
it's not as bad. It's just scenes they never animated that I wish they did. Like school festival. That's such a
Yeah,
classic like trope in an
I know it's
event.
a classic trope.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
he's just like reminiscing, I guess, about the past memories because they're graduating now and whatever.
oh yeah, true, true.
You know what that
Well,
last episode felt like though? Okay, you know how
what?
like you'll like watch an anime and then it'll come up to the last episode, but at the very last moment, like the end credits start rolling and then like you can kind of hear the music a little bit, but the scene is still going.
Hmm.
Oh, I know what you're
And it's
talking
like
about.
a very like nostalgic type of feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just like kind of like the way that they wrap it up. Yeah, if that entire episode felt like that.
Yeah. It also okay. It also ended because you know how it
You
ended with
get
like
what I mean though, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know what you
Look
mean.
at the end.
That
So good.
entire
the
episode
the
was like
the
that.
very last scene with Hori like smiling, it reminded me of like those really old like anime where it ends with everyone jumping and smiling and a freeze frame.
True.
Exactly what it reminded me of.
It did feel like just the whole. That's actually Nikki. That's such a good way to put it. Oh my god, I love that. Just because I was like sitting and I'm like, when is this over? Like
Yeah.
in a kind of like waiting because it's like, oh, okay, we're there, we're there. This is a final point. It's like, oh wait, no, it's still like
It's
normally
still
in
going.
other anime the music's still playing, and for us it's just like it's still going.
Yeah, okay, normally in anime, this last scene, like it would be like the last like 3 minutes instead of the ending credits, right?
Yeah.
But it
The whole
was the
episode.
entire episode.
Okay, to be fair, they also sprinkled in like a little snapshot of like the opening of the green foggy thing, so it made it even worse and made it feel like exactly what you were describing.
That's what it
I'm gonna
is.
remember that.
They sprinkled in the opening like
Oh yeah.
randomly.
Oh yeah, they did that in between, and I was just like, what?
Yeah, okay, it's like
There wasn't even the
I
music
don't know. I
playing.
think it
The
was
music wasn't
episode.
even
Yeah, I think it
playing.
was episode 11. Like I don't know, you guys. Like I was talking about how like they sprinkled in the snow scene from the opening too, and I thought it like
Hmm.
I thought it was a jump cut, but turns out it was actually snowing. It's like that again, but green
Oh
fog.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's green fog.
I remember that like weird. I remember those weird things where they just like do this weird like it looked like some Microsoft desktop background of like snowflakes, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, yeah, I was like, what is this cut? Like, is this supposed to be a transition?"
It's the slideshow transition slide. They have to sprinkle
Yeah.
it in.
I was like,
Yep.
"Bro, this is a Microsoft background of snowflakes." Like,
Oh my
And then this
god.
episode is some green flame fog thing that they had randomly sprinkled in. I was like, what is this? Why?
I still stand by what I said like a few reactions ago, where I was like, "This just feels like a long OVA."
This really does. Oh my god. Well, so let's get into it. Let's get into our final thoughts. I think that I want to actually just start with Samosa's final thoughts because I know she isn't here and like she would love to share and roast Horimiya. So I'm just gonna read aloud what she says. Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure.
All right, cool. This is what Samosa said. I'm glad it's over and I don't have to watch it anymore. Overall, the anime was meh. I'd rate it 5.5 or 6 out of 10. The animation was very nice, but the OP and ending weren't very memorable. I really liked the ending animation, but I wasn't a huge fan of the opening animation. I really enjoyed Horimiya when I was younger, but I was disappointed about how the anime cut out a lot of parts I enjoyed. For example, Miyamura. The pacing was really weird. It was hard to tell where the time period was. They seemed to have just entered school, but all of a sudden they're graduating. I can't help but feel this entire animation was just a cash grab, just to help make the manga sell more money since it was concluding. Otherwise, why wait till now to make an anime? They could have started earlier last year and had more seasons. I feel like they weren't expecting it to be successful as it ended up being otherwise. They would have definitely put more effort in pacing and picking what chapters they wanted to animate. That's a really good point actually that Samosa made
I
about it
okay.
being a cash grab.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we mentioned this like earlier when Nikki and I was watching it, but it's really
Oh, okay.
suspicious that it ended around the same time the manga ended. Like the manga ended like 2, 3 weeks ago, and then the anime
Yeah.
ends. So that means they knew what the
Mm-mm.
ending was because they couldn't have animated it like
Yeah.
the week of,
Mhm.
right?
They
And they
animated
followed the last chapter actually.
Yeah, they animated it probably before the release. So I'm saying that whoever animated this had like insider information about what was going to happen in a sense, or like had the source material beforehand, because there's no way they could have animated it in the past, what, 2 weeks, 3
2
weeks,
weeks, yeah.
something like that. Yeah. So they whoever it was, I think it was obviously deliberately planned that this was going to happen, that they're going to release it at
Mm.
this time so that it would come out right when the last chapter comes out.
That
They got the
frustrates me.
source material before the last chapter even came out, which is rare. You know, you people or like the animation studios don't usually animate things that aren't out yet or
Yep.
released yet. So yeah, they most definitely did that. Uh,
That's like that's so frustrating. Hearing this now, I'm just like, this all makes sense. Like all the dots have now connected in my head about how this was a really bad, like poorly executed anime. Just like that's kind of sad because like I think about anime that do deserve an adaptation, but when you think about it, actually, the anime that do deserve an adaptation, specifically shoujo manga in Japan is always like high sell. Like they're selling a lot, actually. They're doing really well, but those don't get adapted. Whereas like a manga like this one got adapted, and I feel like I don't know if this was popular in Japan. I don't know what the sales were like, but it could make sense that was a cash grab in comparison to like adapting a more successful shoujo manga when it's already successful.
yeah, I mean technically it's a shonen too,
I
so there's
mean,
that.
Yeah.
kind of makes it like I think shoujo. Okay, that kind of like what you said kind of makes me think that like reason why shoujo mangas don't get adapted is because the manga sales are doing so well. If they do an anime, the manga sales will go down.
Well, here's the thing: it could
I don't know if
be
it'll go down, but it's just a waste of money.
Yeah, like why animate it when like, your mangas are doing well, and people would rather watch the anime than to actually like read the manga. So there's that.
well, it's not like shonen mangas don't get good sales. They get good
But
sales too,
like but
and they get
let's like
animated.
True. You
They
got
get
me there.
so like let's take Blue Period for example. Blue Period sold way less in comparison to this one other shoujo manga. I forgot the name of it, but it's something called I'll look it up. But like I do know this other manga that did get this other shoujo manga that was recently awarded some other award and was like has over like at least 2 times as many copies that were sold
Oh,
compared to
was
Blue
it
Period.
was it
Yes, Blue
something
Period's getting animated.
conversation?
I'm not
Our
sure. I'm gonna
our
pull it up on
secret
my Twitter.
conversation, or is it the one that by the same artist as My Little Monster?
I don't think it's that one. I know what you're talking about though,
Oh,
but it's not that
not
one.
that one. Oh, I
Um,
don't know.
it was called Don't Call It Mystery, I think.
I've never read that. Hold up.
Yeah, Mystery Iuna Kare. Mystery Iuna Kare. Like I've been wanting to read this one. Um, it's a josei actually technically, so I don't know if this counts then. But it's a josei. Um, yeah, and it's serialized in this one magazine called Flowers. But yeah, it's a josei and it's sold like 7 million, whereas Blue Lock and other like Blue Period as well have sold way less, where it's like 3.3 million in comparison. So it's like okay, that like this won't get an anime adaptation because it's so successful, I guess, as a manga,
It's kind
I
of
mean, I
weird.
feel
which is kind
like
of disappointing.
manga can be successful and still get adaptations, though.
Yeah, because a lot of
I
shonen
think yeah,
do get it.
Shonen does, but like shoujo, I don't know.
I
I don't know why
I don't know
then.
what the theory is, or the reason is.
Yeah, well, I don't know why either.
But anyways, back to Horimiya.
Oh my god.
Horimiya.
But you're right. Like that did feel like a cash grab now that we're reflecting on it.
Yeah. Well, okay. So if Sumo gave it a 5.5 or a 6 out of 10, what would you guys rate it?
I'd give it a 6.
I'd give it a 6 as well. It just felt very
It was
meh. It wasn't
very
too bad, but it just meh.
like some episodes I enjoyed. Some I was
That's true.
like dreading watching it. I mean, I dread it every
Oh
week.
my
I
god,
give it
true.
like a 7.
A 7. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Ooh.
pretty. Well, what's your reason?
Well, I mean, well, I feel like 7's not that much higher than 6, but like, um, I mean, I think I still had like enjoyable moments. I think it was very. I think the selling point for me was the nostalgia that you kind of feel from it.
Hmm.
I like the way that I think that there is like, although in hindsight or like while you're watching it, the pacing is weird. It's kind of, I've said it before, but it reflects kind of like nostalgic memories where your memories of things skip around, don't have like a clear order. It's a little unclear about when things happen, but you still have those memories anyway. And the way that they kind of skipped around like that, um, I felt like kind of plays into that feel. And also just, I think that the relationships that happen, they don't make a super big deal out of anything where like it's not
True.
dramatic for no reason most of the time. Like some of them, I mean, there's some things that are like dramatic, but I'm just saying like there's no like hardcore
It's very
drama.
casual.
Yeah, it's casual. Like I don't have to worry about some like random like bitch that's like, coming to like ruin their relationship, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
like some random person that's like there wasn't any character that was just there to cause trouble, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. I
True.
definitely
It wasn't like
agree.
pointless drama.
Yeah, I definitely agree that it's like a very casual watch and like lighthearted and like slice of life. And like the only
Yeah.
reason I give it a 6 and not a 5 is because of nostalgia factor, because it was like a manga I read in high school, like something I really enjoyed and dropped, but
Yeah.
still enjoyed it when I was younger. But like now that I'm watching it as in like an older person, adult, I'm an adult. I don't know. it's
Yeah.
it's not that good. There's some parts where I'm like,
Yeah.
pacing is. I think the pacing was just like the biggest like downfall of the entire show.
Yeah, I definitely thought for myself, I'd give it a 6 as well. And I thought that, kind of like what Nikki said, it was that nostalgia factor that played a huge part in why I even started watching the show. And then it was just the podcast that made me keep going with it, not gonna lie. Like, I would
Same.
have probably dropped it around episode 3 or like episode 2 even, but I was like, no, I gotta keep up with this weekly for this. And I, like, especially today when it came to the last episode, I'm like, God, why is it? I just wanted to, like, I was like, when I saw it on the website, I was watching it, it looked like episode 12 was the last episode. I'm like, oh, thank God, it's just episode 12, not episode 13. And then, like, later on, I saw there's episode 13. I'm like, great, I need to watch that. But I feel like, it was it was still like, okay, cool. But I like Miyamura, I like Hori, and I like that they're in a relationship, and that's cool. And yeah, that's it.
I like the Friends cast, like the side
Yeah,
characters. They were fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like that they focused on like some of their stories. I liked even though it felt kind of unusual, like and kind of like just thrown in there. I liked Iura and his sister, for example. I love Iura. He was like great. I love Yanagi. He was also great.
I feel like I like the side characters much more than the main characters.
Yeah, that's true. I feel you.
Yeah, because like even like Sengoku and Remy, like I like them more as a couple than the main couple in the end.
Yeah,
Like they were
Yeah,
cute, but they barely had any scenes,
yeah.
which was kind of sad.
they're interesting. I wasn't on any of the reaction videos for those episodes that focus on them, but I just thought it was so funny where she was like, "I like him because he's weak," and I'm like, "Wait, he said that about you?" And then I was like, "Oh my god, wait, this girl's the one. She's not the weak one. You are."
She wears the pants in the relationship.
Yeah, I was like,
Yep.
oh. I thought that was so funny. And then just that realization for me was just like, Sengoku, you stupid.
Yeah, I really like how Remy is like a super cute and like small like girl, and she's supposed to play as like
She has like the most presence.
yeah, she's supposed to be like weak and whatever, but then like she has the most presence and she's the most like outgoing and strong, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, she was kind of badass, like low key, because
She
there's
makes
that
her
one
energy
scene.
go out there.
That one scene. Okay, you guys probably already talked about this, but I wasn't in this episode, so I just that
It's
one
okay, go ahead.
scene. That one scene where he was like, "Oh, my friend likes you," and she's just like, "Oh," and then she just keeps talking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, sounds about right. Like, what else? What else you want me to say? Like, okay."
There's also that one
Yeah.
scene in like I think it was Sengoku's house, and there's like a bookshelf, and she literally just like pushes him. And I'm like, damn, she really takes charge.
Yeah, I'm like, Sengoku, you think she's weak, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know, man. She's pretty
Yeah.
strong, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, so I don't know though. Her character throughout the whole thing was just like a roller coaster. Like, I don't really get what they're trying to do with her.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, in the beginning
they really redeemed
go ahead.
her. They really redeemed her in like those last few episodes. But like, why did it take so long to build her up like this? Or like, I don't know. It was
I feel like they
weird.
started in the wrong foot because they like made her like a super bitch in the beginning, and I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
calm down there. She wasn't like this in the manga. I don't remember this. And
They
then
made her super weak. Like, she couldn't do anything, and she was weak.
she's like
and
a
she was
mascot.
bitch.
She's like a mascot.
Yeah, but then they really like
Turned
developed her.
They went 180 with her all of a sudden. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I like this. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, she suddenly became like a really strong character. She became really, really badass, and I was like, shit. Like, Remy kind of cool.
Remy, yeah. I feel like she got cool when they started explaining her in Sengoku. I was like, that's when that's when I started actually liking her character, because beforehand she was just kind of like getting on Hori's nerves, and I'm like, what's going on? This reminds me of the manga-ish. But then yeah, she like turned out for the better. I was really happy that they got to do that for her,
Yeah,
honestly.
the whole student council in the beginning versus the end is kind of weird.
It was dramatic. Like, I don't remember it being that dramatic.
The whole
What
like
part
fight.
about it being dramatic? Oh yeah,
know
like the whole
how-
Sengoku, like the whole
Yeah.
like yeah, and then Miyamura coming in headbutting.
Yeah, and then
I don't remember
when he was like, "Oh, Hori has to do all the work or whatever," or trying to make Hori do all the work, and then they were like blaming her for like losing something or whatever when it was actually Remy, and all that stuff that happened. That like there's that tension between like the student council and Hori for like absolutely no reason.
And then they threw it all away. And like
Yeah, and
said
then
that
it was just all gone.
Like,
It all
bye, we're
became
friends
friends.
now.
Yeah, they just became
Yep.
friends.
if they were gonna cut around like all these like chapters and just skim around the series, they might as well just have like cut that part out, like the random beef.
No, but we apparently needed it because Miyamura, has to headbutt him.
Miyamura needs to show his chivalry, you know?
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
my bad. I don't know how to write
Yeah.
characters clearly.
Yeah, we just gotta make them look so much stronger as males, therefore they are well developed.
Is this going back to male dominance? Hold on.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but that's another thing on itself.
Yeah, I don't get that whole student. I also don't get the relationship between Hori and Sengoku because they were like friends, and then they're
You mean Hori started bullying him? Yeah.
yeah. I don't or like they were friends and she would like bully him, but then now they're friends again, or they weren't friends. I don't know. Their whole relationship was weird. I don't get it at all. I'm like, why do you guys suddenly stop talking to each other?
I feel like sometimes they throw in backstories and then they just like erase it. And then they're like, now we're friends. And it just keeps going. And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
It's not resolved.
I don't know. I think it would have been so much cooler if they like developed that dynamic between Sengoku and Hori because I thought the relationship was so funny.
Yeah.
Or at least the backstory to the
Mhm.
relationship was so funny, but like it didn't really it was literally there as some random excuse for why Hori like listens to him and helps him out sometimes, but then that was it.
I feel like could have developed Sengoku as a wimp like early on. Like we could have gotten signs of him being like kind of a wimp in a way, I guess.
I definitely think you guys. I'm still like holding on to that point about this being so clearly coordinated, especially because of the last chapter coming out, and I guess to get last minute sales in.
It's very sus. I think it's also to boost like the extra chapter that's coming out in the summer. I feel like that
Oh
could
yeah.
also play a part in like getting more people interested in buying it. Because I feel like Horimiya as a manga series kind of died down in popularity.
Mhm.
Like everyone's read it, but no one's still reading it.
Who's still reading Horimiya from the beginning? Even if somebody was keeping up from the beginning, who
I
still
dropped
did?
around chapter 40 or 50. That's
Same.
all I
I know,
remember.
same.
Like you've all read it.
Same.
No one's continuing up to date except for like maybe a few people who like just somehow pummeled through, which is not me or any of us.
I don't even know if I got to I don't even know if I got to chapter 40.
I feel like I got to the point where I don't like I definitely remember all these things in the anime already happening. So I got farther past that at least.
Damn.
But
I
it's
did
just
not
like
even get to the whole Yuki Ishikawa thing in the manga. I don't think
I
even
got to that and just forgot about it, and just when I watched it again, I'm like, oh yeah, I did not like this part, but
Oh
here we go
yes,
again.
their relationship in the end,
Yeah, just
limbo,
yeah.
or like in Nikki's mind,
It's
they're together.
They're together in my
they're
mind. They're
they're
basically together
together
to
but
me.
not they're together but not at the same time.
I don't know. Okay, if I was in that situation, I would just basically consider ourselves dating.
It's like Schrodinger's cat. Are we dating or are we not dating?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I wouldn't the reason I guess I wouldn't consider it, we don't even need to go into their relationship though, honestly. We can just skip over that.
I mean, they skipped over it too. They were like they literally made me sit
they
through.
skipped over it.
They made me sit through 3-4 episodes of these two trying to figure out their relationship, and then the end they don't even give me a conclusion.
Mhm.
What was the point of that?
They're dating in my mind. They're basically dating.
Okay, Nikki, you continue believing
You
that.
can have that.
You can have
You
that.
continue with that.
Yeah.
I am just saying that I did not believe in it.
I am not satisfied enough, basically.
You know, because like, and I guess like the part that's also really hard about it is because they put so much tension between her, Sakura, and Ishikawa. Like they put that tension there, and you're like, okay, like you want something clear and like a clear cut like conclusion to that, and we got like a half relationship basically from that.
Yo, Sakura
I
did
don't
not
know.
deserve that, okay?
I still
Yeah,
feel like it
Sakura
was
deserved
clear to
better.
me. It was clear enough for me.
Well, you just keep standing by that.
Well, it
Yep.
was clear. I don't know what else I would like other than the fact of them actually. Like, I honestly don't know what else I would really want from it.
I like
Maybe
communication.
that I like
It's,
communication too, I guess. I'd like them. I'd like the confession. I'd like the whole like
Do you want to go out with
clear.
me? Let's go out. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
I need that. I need the whole scene. I need it to
I
like be
need that.
solid. I need it solidified.
I need to.
Okay.
I need to know that there's a foundation here that they're working off of because there was clearly none.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I feel like I think even in real life, like I don't necessarily need like, hey, do you like? Will you be my
I mean,
girlfriend? Like, you know that.
I don't need that. What I
yeah,
need is are
like
we dating? Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then they move on. You know,
that's what I need. Yeah, that's
like just a
exactly it.
verbal
That's all I need.
confirmation. Because right now it's like, what are they?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I just feel like it would. It's basically on that track, and then it just needs to happen. But
They could have just
in
made
my
it
mind,
happen.
it's basically happened.
You can have that.
What? They like held hands, and she like came over, and then he like turned down Sakura and was like, "I don't want to correct her." And then I'm like, "Oh, that's basically they're dating."
You can keep that. I'm still not.
Yeah, I'm not satisfied, especially because Sakura got just like she deserved better. She really
Yes.
did.
Yeah.
But then again, I guess Ishikawa, he's not a good character anyways. Screw that.
Well, I don't
Screw
know.
up.
She confessed to him, and then he basically turned her down ish.
Yeah, but she didn't even
Yeah,
get to
she
respond. I
deserves
mean, he
better.
never responded, did he? Didn't she
She
just?
said she didn't need one.
Yeah. Again, it's not a fair playing field if she assumes they're in a relationship when they're not.
They're basically in one.
Nikki's like, it's let it be. It's okay.
I think I'm just mad because they made me sit through like 3, 4 episodes of them, and they're like
Of the
sexual ten.
drama, and then
Yeah.
yeah, uh-huh.
And
The
then
tension was there and everything, and then nothing.
nothing, and like I don't even get a satisfying conclusion. That's what makes me angry.
Yeah.
And I also did not care about their relationship. Am I the only one? Is this bad?
You know, I did have like I cared about the triangle, but then I didn't care after that. If that makes sense.
You know, I thought it was gonna be a 1 episode thing, but then they like dragged it on for 2, 3 episodes, and I'm like, I'm done. Just like move on.
Puts off headphones. Come on, just get back to the main ship, please.
Just get back to like the friendship stuff, you know, like the happy stuff. I don't need this tension and this like random limbo scene.
Yeah. That's true. It felt very dramatic. A lot more dramatic than I remember.
I never got there in the manga, so I don't know.
I still thought they were cute.
Nikki is just like defending them.
I like
Nikki's like
them.
asserting the agenda of like Yuki and Ishikawa.
I like
Fine.
them.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, you continue. You do you. Shouchan, I'm just gonna hate on them.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. I feel like I have a special place in my heart for Sakura, especially. I think that's part of what riles me up about that one. Just because like normally in most anime you'd expect at least like even if somebody like Sakura got rejected, then you see like her with happiness. Like you see her with somebody later on and you see her happy and you're like, "Okay, cool." And I guess like the happiness point for her was like that she was able to tell Toru in the end like, "Thank you like for these years together. It was great. Cool, I'll see you later with all of our friends," that sort of thing. So I was like, okay, cool. But I guess I personally would have rather preferred to actually seen her with somebody too at the end, just like everybody else.
Yes. I feel like her entire like arc during the whole like love triangle was just her being sad. Like there was never a development for her.
I would argue her development was that she actually chose to confess and she actually chose to move peacefully with it. Like she was a more mature character than Yuki, who kind of played into, making a lie that she was in a relationship in the first place.
Yeah, I guess in a way, yeah, she did develop in that way. But then after that, it was just kind of like every time you see her, she's just like reminiscing and like being sad. And I'm like, girl, what?
Yeah.
We're just
Well,
going
I
backwards.
think she did show kind of like the fact that she was like proactive about her crush on someone, you know, kind of
Yeah.
in a way. Yeah, she was kind of proactive. It was still a little proactive is a questionable word, but I guess she was proactive. Um But I think like even though Yuki was like shady about it, she was pretty self-aware.
True. Yeah, yeah.
She was shady.
Yeah, she was shady. That's
At
like,
least she was self-aware about it. She was like, yeah, that was kind of shitty.
well, she doesn't do anything about it. She's like,
True.
I'm gonna continue being shitty though.
Well, she
Yeah.
still is also like, even she feels insecure about it too. She's like, I like, she wants to be like Sakura, who is like more proactive, but she's like, and she's just like, yeah, but all I do is like run away. So she's self-aware about it, at least.
I guess that's like the upside of her, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think she's just really insecure about it.
I mean, it's high school,
Because,
so
yeah.
I guess.
I mean, there's no particular reason why she would believe that like that Ishikawa would be more into Sakura than into her, but she kind of just plays on this thing that like uh that he would choose Sakura over her like any time or any day, which obviously wasn't true because he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it kind of makes sense for a high school girl being insecure about her relationship.
Yeah.
It's like how Hori's like sometimes insecure about her relationship with Miyamura.
She's a little crazy though. Like I don't think it's the same.
It's not, but like, you know, I have to stretch
You're like,
I don't know about that one.
we'll stretch it a little, you know?
yeah.
She a little Hori and Hori's possessiveness over Miyamura is a little concerning.
They didn't
Yeah.
really animate
Also,
a lot of
wait.
it, so.
Yeah, true. I'm just also confused if that was really a wise choice with what Yuki and Yuki and Tori whatever it left off on, because I'm just like, Yuki doesn't even know that he sees her in that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he
So
doesn't
I'm
know
just
that
like,
she sees him that way, so like, limbo.
yeah, I'm just like, wait a second. So like, for example, her jealousy of Sakura, like it makes sense because she doesn't even know how he feels. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't like that.
I didn't like how their relationship ended off, but Nikki is satisfied, so we're good. all that
It's
Yeah.
satisfied enough for me in that like you can basically see where it's going. Like it doesn't take
Yeah.
that much more of a push for them to start dating, and it's probably gonna happen.
Yeah, if one of us enjoys it, good enough, I guess.
hmm
Any other final thoughts about Horimiya, the anime we all dreaded watching?
Oh my gosh. I mean, if people are gonna watch it, go ahead. But I feel like, I don't know who else is still watching it. It was very hyped in the beginning, but it's kind of toned down since then. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know.
I think
I
people
I
haven't
don't know if
heard
still.
others are even
anything.
watching it.
Yeah, I haven't really heard anything since the whole kink shaming thing or kink thing that Hori had. Everyone was talking about Hori's kink, and then after that, no one really mentioned it anymore.
I think it's
Oh my gosh,
like
let me check out.
a lot of animes kind of just like die down once it ends.
It's true.
No one's really talking about
But
it
this
now.
felt like it died down before it ended.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, oh,
It took the same path as Horimiya the manga. The hype died after
Well, that
like
makes sense.
the same route.
Yeah, that makes sense. They also kept adding characters. I was like, why do we need another character?
Oh, they keep introducing more and more characters. I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, I was like, who's this? Like, are you a different hair color? Like,
Who's this man? Like, if they didn't have different hair colors,
I
I would have
was
thought
like,
they were
how
the
many?
same.
Yeah, I was like, how many hair colors does this freaking show have? Like, God, no one has the same color or shade. Like, it's so funny. Like, I feel like I've never seen this many hair colors in an anime before.
true. That is the funny thing about the hair colors in the anime, by the way. Like one of my sisters, she read the manga with me at the same time and also read it for a long duration before eventually dropping it once it became like a slice of life hell. And she came in the living room while we were watching the last episode together, me and my other sister, and she was just like, "Wait, Sakura has green hair and green eyes?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Wait, Ishikawa, he has purple hair and purple eyes too. Like, what is this? Like, this is. I did not expect these characters to have this many colorful hair.
Okay,
This colorful of hair.
honestly, I never expected Ishikawa to have purple hair.
Same.
It
Did not
was,
see that one coming.
I was like, wait, because Remy with pink hair, okay, makes sense. Sengoku red hair, okay. But then Ishikawa purple hair? What happened?
Purple
Hmm.
hair. They all just have a different hair color. It's kind of amusing.
I mean, maybe it's the only. If they didn't have different hair color, we can't tell them apart.
It's true. I mean, they look different too, though. Like, they have different hair colors, but they also have different character designs.
Yeah, but they have to stand out,
I guess so. Kind of weird, but okay.
Any other final thoughts?
Nah, I think that I'm happy that they've graduated though, and I wonder what will I'm not gonna read the half chapter to be honest, but the extra chapter, not half chapter,
You
but
heard me saying that.
sorry, like I'm not reading that, but I mean, hey, I hope this benefited whatever they were hoping to get it for, and I think a lot of people liked it too, so that's okay.
Yeah. I hope it opens
And-
more door for like more romance anime.
Yeah. I just hate how it's just another title where some guy on Reddit or something, or like someone's gonna be like,
Some guy on Reddit.
or Facebook, and then someone's gonna be like, "Can you recommend me some romance anime?" And then someone goes, "Horimiya." You're just like, "Oh fuck!"
It's gonna
It's gonna be one of those, and they're gonna be like, "Horimiya, Love is War,
Oh my god.
Nisekoi, Toradora."
True. I
Golden
think
time.
golden time, yeah.
Oh, golden time! Golden time.
What
Yeah.
was that
That's like
reaction?
literally, those are like literally the only romance anime that will get recommended by like guys.
What do you mean,
Yep.
Nikki? Those are the best
Low
romance. Didn't
key.
you love them?
What?
Didn't you love them?
Did I love them? Yeah, I guess so, sure.
It's okay, girl. Like I liked actually, did I like any of those? Holy crap, I did not.
Love is War.
Okay.
Love is War isn't horrible, but
Love is War is not bad. It's kind of funny. It's a good.
yeah, Love is War is not bad. I think that one's. I wouldn't call it peak romance,
It's more comedy.
but
Yeah, whereas everybody calls it peak romance.
yeah,
But yeah, I
there's
mean,
a lot of guys that call it peak romance.
yeah. It is, I'm sure it's good. I watched the first episode, got bored, finished it, and tried watching the second episode and then stopped in the first like 8 minutes.
I couldn't watch it anymore because the characters reminded me of the art style of Scum's Wish. If anyone read that,
Okay, I really like Scum's Wish though.
it reminded me of that train wreck, and I was like,
Oh my god, yeah, you're right. Oh my
Right?
gosh, that manga.
had the
I
same
tried
art.
reading it at one point. I couldn't.
It has the
No, I
same-
really like Scum's Wish.
I mean, it's not a bad anime. It has an anime too. It's not a bad anime
Yeah.
manga, but every time I see Love is War, I just think about the train wreck that it was, like Scum's Wish, and I was like, I can't do
Scum's
this.
Wish is so bad, but I really like it because of how bad it like.
It's a
Like
train
it's
wreck.
just
Oh my god.
so. It's
I could
just
feel
so
it going
much.
becoming a train wreck and I was like, I'm out of this. Nope.
No, it's
but-
a train wreck, but it's so raw. And I'm like, I like it.
It's not okay. It's not as big of a train wreck as like Domestic Girlfriend, though. I think that's a bigger train wreck.
Okay, that's different. Like, okay, this is Scum's Wish is a train wreck, but it's very.
It's very.
It-
it's very.
It's purposely a train wreck, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
it's basically about how people suck ass.
I mean,
Literally,
it's
the title
called
is
Scum's Wish,
you know?
right?
Yeah, it's literally called Scum's Wish, and I
Yeah.
really like it.
I think it's
actually.
very human.
It's
just
very human. It's a very human.
It's a train wreck, like a really human train wreck.
Yeah, and that's why I like it. But yeah,
Yeah, Love is War reminded me too much of that art style, so I could not continue.
That's
I
funny.
watched the first season of Love Is War. I finished the first season.
Do you enjoy it?
I mean, I guess it was enjoyable. Like I said, I wouldn't call it peak romance.
I mean, what do you mean? Peak romance is like Nisekoi, Toradora. You're live in April.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't like if someone were to ask me for like a romance recommendation. I would not first of all think of Love Is War.
Yeah.
Love Is
that's
War is
true.
like Love Is War is literally the romance anime that guys watch and pretend like they know what romance anime is like.
I mean, it's like them watching some sort of
Oh.
harem and being like, "This is peak romance."
Mm-hmm. At Rent a Girlfriend. Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyway, Horimiya is just one. I feel like Horimiya is like this patch.
I mean, okay,
Literally
I
was
prefer.
okay.
I think I wouldn't be that mad Horimiya being in the romance genre because it has romance elements and it's more. Is it healthy? I don't even know.
I don't think
It's
it's
like
bad.
it's not that great either, and I hope people just don't recommend this as the starter romance anime pack either. But I can see it becoming that Yeah, I can still see it becoming that,
I mean, what
unfortunately.
would
I
you
don't have good
recommend?
thoughts for that.
What would you guys recommend as like the starter romance anime?
Oh,
Because it's very
shit, there's so
limited.
I feel like, okay,
true.
that we are limited, that's true, but like
It's way too
this
limited.
it is way too limited. And it also depends on the person I'm talking to, because if I know they genuinely don't care about, you know, how do I say this? I feel like
But
most people when they want a romance, they want something really fast, or they want some rom-com, or they like
They want spice.
want yeah, they want spice. And I'm just like, I don't know if I have anything like that to offer really, because I have more of like slow burns that I really like a lot.
yeah, same. I think I think that's really like I think it's because when you think about romance animes or romance mangas that are really good in that sense, it's always the slow burns because that's how they get more developed, you know? Like it's really hard to be like in like a 13 episode anime to show like a good romance or like a good relationship of like falling in love, actually dating, and blah 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 afterwards too.
Yeah.
It is a hard suggestion.
Yeah. But you know what? Okay, sometimes they'll recommend like wotakoi.
Oh, you
Yeah.
know what? Wotakoi is a pretty good recommendation. Well,
Yeah,
only
I
it's
think
like
wotakoi is a pretty
I
good
think Woltakoi
recommendation.
is a valid recommendation, especially because it's like it's you know, like they're older people actually. And I'm just like that's a unique sort of thing where it's like it's like adults in the workplace and they're having a romance. And I'm like, you know, that's actually nice. And it's a josei technically, I think.
yeah, I also think it's very
Yeah,
like
it's a Jersey.
organic romance. Like it's the whole plot line isn't you don't have to like it's not all romance basically. Like unlike
Mm-hmm.
shoujo where it's all about romance, like they have lives, they have hobbies, and it's just
Yep.
lighthearted.
But I think that one's like a pretty that could be a solid rec. Um, I mean, we like Fruits Basket.
Fruits Basket is a slow burn. I'm very
That's true. I
Yeah.
guess I feel like it's a little faster than other ones sometimes.
it's quite slow. We're
Wow.
season three's coming out. That's when the romance starts, man.
Oh. I liked Gekken Shoujo Nozaki-kun. I don't know if that's a good romance rec, but
There's not
I
much
feel
I
like
rom.
it's
mean,
not bad.
it's better low key. Yeah, it's true. It's not, I guess there's not really relationships in that one technically, but it's like, but it has like the slice of life element that that Horimiya had. That's like actually, I don't know, better. I actually laughed a lot more.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the relationships are
and I
funny, so had the friendship
Yeah.
aspect too.
yeah, it's not completely. I mean, the relationship in there wasn't completely dead. I think Orange was not bad either.
Yeah, Orange wasn't that bad actually. I actually liked Orange. I
I
know
like
some people
Orange.
have different views about it.
I like Orange too.
Have like barely any memory of it. I just remember not really liking it that much. But
I liked
I
Orange. I
think
think I would give that as a more solid romance recommendation that's shorter, you know?
I think people should give it a try still though.
Because that one is only 13 episodes as well. And I think that one would be like a more solid romance recommendation.
It's also lovely complex. I think the anime wasn't that bad.
I don't think I ever watched the anime.
I don't remember
I
if they.
haven't read or watched it.
Oh, I'm not sure if they animated till the end of the manga or not though. So can't really say.
I personally didn't like. Okay, I didn't. It's not that I didn't like it, but I didn't love it. But My Little Monster, is that what it's called in English?
Oh yeah, I love the manga for that one actually. I watched the anime and thought it was cute, and then it ended off weirdly, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm just. And I never picked up the manga until literally like a few weeks ago. I finally
Oh
read
my
it all
god.
the way through, and I
I
loved it.
I love My Little Monster. There's something about it that's just so charming.
Yeah, so there's also that could be recommended. So those are all the other ones that you could totally recommend instead of
Toradora.
Nisekoi,
Toradora.
Nisekoi and Toradora.
Rent a girlfriend. What do you
Nisekoi
mean? That's
Toradora.
peak romance.
Yeah.
Domestic girlfriend? That's a real romance.
Yeah. So there's some out there. There's some out there. I literally just went through my anime list right now, just to try to find them.
Yeah.
Oh, and some people also enjoy like Kaicho wa Maid Sama. I guess that's like romance.
I enjoy Kacho Roommates.
I said some people. That
You
includes
are
me.
literally you always will. You'll never get over Usui. Oh my
I know.
god.
Leave
She's
me
like
It's
alone.
okay.
He's
okay.
my childhood
It's
crush,
okay.
and
It's
I'm still in love
okay.
with him. Okay.
I still trash on him.
It's
I go. It's okay.
okay.
I have some trashy taste too.
I love I love Mamura from Daytime Shooting Star. It's okay. I get that.
I don't think he's that bad.
It's not that bad. Dude, I used to
I don't know. I feel
like
like if
what's
have
his
you rewatched it recently? I'm actually curious now.
I have not. Last time I rewatched it, I think I was in high school.
I feel like you might see it differently now.
Nah,
Wait,
I
wait,
still
wait,
love
wait,
it.
wait.
Don't worry. Don't
Rewatch
nah.
what? Rewatch what?
Rewatch
Kaicho wa
Kaicho wa
Maid-sama.
Maid-sama.
Oh,
I still like Kaicho wa Maid-sama. Actually,
I
I don't know.
I used to
think I
like
still
him,
it. I don't.
and then I started not liking him more and more, and then I like rewatched it. He's so annoying. Yo. He's so
He is he's the definition of like those like what is that? What's that whole
hillbilly.
that's that
Is that what you could call him?
no, not hillbilly. No, he plays into that whole like, oh, I'm the cool blonde dude, and I'm
Oh
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
very
yeah.
like he'll like slam his hand against a wall and like corner
Oh,
you, like that sort of like the
you know,
popular guy. That
I realize
trope.
what annoys me. He
That's
shows up
true.
to
He
her
does show
workplace
up
and
and it's a
harasses her.
little.
I'm like, dude, don't show up to
Oh yeah.
workplaces. That annoys
Okay,
me.
I
I'm
can
like,
kind
come
of get
on.
that part, but I don't know.
Like, if
I still
anyone
like
shows up
him.
at my workplace,
You know,
I'll
sometimes
be
you just
mad.
want that like, cool, aggressive type. I don't know. I'm also that one person that was like, Miyamura-kun slap me and yell at me, and I'm like, okay.
No, I understand. I completely understand. That's why I don't like.
Yeah.
I say you can
Okay,
have him.
you know
He's yours.
you know who I stump over in JJK? Freaking Sukuna.
Okay, I'm not that hardcore. That's a little too much for me.
Hell yeah, Sukuna.
I
No,
can't
you know
even.
what? I understand. I understand. Like after you said that, I watched
I don't
like
know.
the whatever
I'm just
episode that was,
saying.
and I was like, I understand Nikki now. This is relatable. I'm like,
What episode was it?
I
Because
don't
I tried
remember.
watching.
I don't
Oh my
remember,
gosh.
but I watched it, and I was like, I felt
I'm
that.
just saying
I understand.
after Sukuna didn't show up anymore, like I got so upset. I was like, damn, when is Sukuna gonna freaking pop out? Like, hello.
Yo, he shows up in the manga, like there was like not really recent, and then he goes like batshit crazy, and I'm like, okay, I know, I understand. I understand, Nikki.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe okay, this sounds terrible. I tried watching Jujutsu Kaisen and like got to episode 4 or 5 and then got bored. I get bored apparently very easily as I'm talking
I
here.
mean,
Oh my gosh.
not every.
Yeah,
Hey,
but my
that's okay.
sister's
That's valid.
Valid.
I think I'll try to give it another shot because I know like everybody's like, but you know, it gets better. Like there's this one specific fight scene. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I really wish I stayed for the Gojo fight scenes, honestly. So I'm
I
like,
just think
you
that
know,
the
I might
characters.
pick up with
I
that.
think it's worth staying because it's like a shonen, and the female characters are not fan service, and that's like a good.
Oh yeah, true, definitely.
That's like
I
already
love
a good reason.
Nobara and I love the female characters. Yeah.
And everyone looks kind of cool. Like their fights just look cool. I don't know what's going on, but it looks cool. I don't get the techniques,
Yep.
but it looks cool to me. Back to Horimiya.
Anyways, I think we've derailed the conversation's entirely derailed. But hey, Harmia was cute, and that's basically the summary I would say of this whole thing.
It's meh. It's a mid. Like if I had to give it a tier, I'll give it like a C plus B, like somewhere there.
That's what a 7 is. A C.
Like a C plus, like a
Yep.
high C
Yeah,
plus.
it's like a 7.
Yep.
It's like
Really glad that it ended finally, honestly.
only reason I watched it or continue watching is because of the podcast.
I also only watched it because of this podcast.
Same. Yep.
Like, I felt obligated.
I mean, it wasn't.
I think that's the final remarks.
Yep. I think we got it, y'all.
All right, stay
Thank
tuned
you for tuning in.
You can follow us
next
at
season.
the Shoujoverse on Twitter, Instagram,
Yes, at the Shoujo-Verse.
TikTok,
Please do follow us
Facebook,
on Twitter.
TikTok,
Yes.
YouTube,
Gosh.
YouTube.
and
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
season we'll be doing Fruits Basket, I think.
Oh yeah. Tune in for
Yes, Taita actually watched something of quality. Yes.
You'll finally see us stop shitting on something.
So after all our Horimiya
Yeah.
reactions come to it, and after this episode, we are going to start up Fruits Basket. So watch Fruits Basket with us. Season 3.
Yes, please watch it with us.
Season 3.
And then
Watch us fangirl.
and
Oh my
yeah, and like
gosh.
we can actually give out some positive feedback.
You'll hear us rave so much about it that you'll be like, oh my gosh, please stop.
Yeah.
The hate was better than the raving.
This was all the hate. This is the end of the hate
No.
train.
Yes, we are happy to start with sailing into happiness with Fruits Basket. But yeah, thank you again for staying with us for this whole time and keeping up with us for Horimiya, or even if you're just listening to this last one, that's totally cool too. But yeah, thank you again, Miso and Nikki, and it's awesome that we were able to talk about this. So
Thank you, Shouchan.
thank you,
And
everybody.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
we're all cool.
Thanks for
see you guys
following
next
our
time.
Horimiya
Oh
journey.
my god.
Yep. See you guys next time into the
Bye.
Shoujoverse.
Bye-bye.
Bye.